Hey everybody, I am Erica Carlson. I'm with a company called BRIX Real Estate, and I'm also your Rockford neighbor, and I'm just bringing you the Wright County market update like I do every week. You might find this information helpful whether you're shopping for your house, maybe you own a house but you're not thinking about selling, or you are selling, so really any of those camps. Please stay tuned, and I'll try to get to this real quick for you. So we're going to start with the data that I think is the most interesting, which is the showings per week per listing. And I just focus on the 250 to 500K range. So keep that in mind as you're looking at this with me. And you can see below 3 showings per week per listing is where we're falling, which isn't really much different than last week or the week before. We've been under that for quite a while. And then when we compare it to Hennepin County, which you can see in parentheses, it was a slightly bigger jump than it was for Wright County. So I thought that was kind of interesting. It's not substantial, 5.1 to 4.4. So if you're having trouble understanding what I mean by these numbers, literally on average in Wright County, people are getting about 3 parties through their house every week, and that would just be average, normal. Of course, if you just listed a house or you've had your house on the market longer, you're probably not going to see numbers like that. And then just kind of a general, again, we've talked about this for a while. We're in a seller's market, and so multiple offers have become typical. So just a side note about multiple offers, that's nothing to feel intimidated about if you're out there house shopping. It has been very standard for very long. And instead of thinking it as like a bloodbath of like, I don't want to bid anymore, there's a lot of people that will just opt out. The minute they find out there's one other offer, I'm out. I don't want to hear it. Like, I just need to hear this house is mine, and I don't want to hear that somebody else is interested. Unfortunately, not that you can't find that, but how many houses are you going to go through to find one that's not in multiple offers? And so with that in mind, just think of it as a silent auction, kind of back off like your choice of language. Everybody's just giving their best offer. Maybe the seller will negotiate with one or 2 parties. It doesn't mean they got 20 offers. In fact, we're not really seeing that anymore. Where we are seeing that is on houses that are immensely underpriced. And then that's where, but even in those situations, I was in one last week, just a ton of offers on this one house. And the listing agent told me that within that, all the pocket of people that submitted were very close to list price, and then ours kind of stood out, which is why we were able to win that house. Looking forward at this data, just looking at it briefly, it's really interesting to me that there's 573 properties for sale in Wright County. That seems so much more substantial when we look back historically than we've seen in a really long time. However, when you take away the contingencies, we dropped to 492 houses. So that doesn't seem as significant. In fact, that's 2 less properties than last week. So it's nice that we're comparing and we're pulling in that data now, because I think if you're a home shopper, you wouldn't feel like there's, a substantial amount of more options. Like, this stuff is going to feel very insignificant because, of course, out of all those little green dots on the screen, if you're out there shopping, you might only be interested in a handful of them. So who cares that, there's almost 600 properties for sale. Some of them are townhouses. We talked about last week, a lot of them are new construction. So you could start narrowing down that funnel pretty quickly. Of course, there's all sorts of different price points. And then in terms of TNAS pending closing, we're just not seeing much of a data change there. The closings went down a little bit, but see, none of this stuff is particularly remarkable. So we'll continue to see how we continue to have inventory options. It's just kind of interesting to pay attention. And then the data on my screen is not new from last week. Again, we are in a seller's market. That is ultimately what that data shows. Compared to the last 2 years, it is nothing compared, that was really dramatic. It looks like nothing when you have 2.3 months of inventory versus, 1.5. It would feel a lot faster at this time last year. However, again, anecdotally, lots of people I'm working with are shopping. Lots of people are thinking about selling. So, it all gets skewed based on our own, personal thought bubble on these things. So to conclude, I'm really tired, so I'm going to keep it short this week. If I can help you in any way, I'd love to be able to do that. If you click on my link, you can get this free market report. This is for your neighborhood. Of course, you'd have to, share a little bit of information with me so I could really tailor that in for you. No strings attached. Just want to give you information you find helpful. I still have my summer seller and buyer guide. I can't speak just for this summer. Like the data and the information in there is just very honed in this guide that I can offer to you. If you click on the link, and if you go to my wow, I cannot speak. My main website, iHeartMinneapolisHomes.com, you will find a free smart seller, smart buyer guide. Absolutely love those. Give them out to my folks all the time, and you can take advantage of it too if you jump on my website. If you think of anything, please feel free to reach out. I'd love to hear from you, whether you comment below or you reach out to me directly. Let me know how I can be of help to you in the real estate domain. Have a great week. Thank you.